Did you know there is a faster way to filter data in Excel? Meet slicers and timelines, your new best friends for dynamic data analysis. These tools can take your data analysis to the next level, making it easier to interact with your data. Hey friends, welcome to the channel Data with Hina. Today we are exploring slicers and timelines in Microsoft Excel. So let's go and see first what is slicer. Slicers provide a visual way to filter your data and add more interactivity to your data, and it will make your data easy to understand. To add a slicer, click anywhere in your pivot table, go to the pivot table analyze tab. Here we have an option of insert slicer. Click on the insert slicer. It will list all of the column headers that you have. Let's choose those columns that we want to add a slicer. The first one is segment and the second one that I want to add is category. Click on OK. Now you can see that we have two slicers available. Category and segment. To filter our data, simply select the item that you want to show. It will update the pivot table and show only those data that is related to the selected item. For example, here office supplies. Now it changed again. Technology. Again. Now to select more than one item, hold the control key and then select the next item. You can see that now we have two filters. Also in the segments we can do the same. Consumer, corporate, or home office. Select any item that you want and it will update the pivot table based on your selection. Now to format our slicers, select the slicer, go to the slicer tab. Here we have a lot of options that we can choose to format our slicer. We can choose different kinds of styles, we can arrange it, we can adjust the size of it, and so on. Now let's take a look at timeline. Timelines are quite similar to slicers. The only difference is that timelines is specific for dates. So if we want to filter our data based on a specific date, we can use timelines. Or we can say that timelines will provide for us a visual way to filter our data based on a date. Let's go and see how we can do this. Click anywhere on your pivot table, go to the pivot table analyze tab, insert a timeline. Here you can see that we have two columns that are related to dates available in our data source, order date and ship date. Click on order date and click on OK. Now you can see that we have a timeline here. In the drop down menu here we have date parts that we can choose and we can filter based on these date parts. For example, months, quarters, and so on. Let's choose years. Now you can see that we have our data and we have a timeline. We can simply drag the handle to filter our data based on a specific date. For example, now we can see only those data that are related to 2016 year. To format a timeline, simply go to the timeline. Here we have a lot of options to style it, to arrange it, or to adjust size it, and also other options we can use to format our timeline. Now that we have understood what slicers and timelines are and how we can use them, here's a pro tip for you. If we have multiple pivot tables, we can connect those pivot tables and synchronize filtering. So how we can do this? Copy this pivot table and paste it here. Let's change the row from subcategory to customer name. Now select the timeline, go to the timeline tab. Here we have an option called report connection. Click on the report connection and select all of the pivot tables that you want to connect and synchronize filtering. Check all of those tables, then click on OK. Now you can see that if we change the timeline filter, the data in both of these tables will change instantly. We can do the same process for slicers also. Let's select the category slicer here, go to the slicer, report connection. Let's select only the first pivot table, then click on OK. Now you can see that if we change the data, only the first pivot table will change. The second pivot table is the same as it was. Now let's go and again select both of these pivot tables, then click on OK. Now you can see that if we change the slicer item, it will change the values in both pivot tables. That's it. Now you have mastered slicers and timelines in Microsoft Excel. These tools are incredibly powerful for adding more interactivity in your datasets. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.